Well, hello, my loves. I have not done any scary, spooky, any of this good for at least a month. And I apologize so much for that. I've been super busy with music and just a whole lot of being sick and shit like that. So, yeah. I found this very interesting story about a dance mania or dance plague that happened in 1518, and I just really wanted to share this short story with you guys because it's true. Number one, I love true stuff that's spooky and whatever else, and two, it's like I said, it's spooky. It's actually fucking terrifying. Anyways, let's get into it, okay? Oh, I have to mention that I have Fredward and I have Fuckhead and I have, who's this guy? I don't know. We still have to come up with a name for him, I think. I really don't think we've named him. Anyway, so this is the dancing plague of 1518, or the dance epidemic, or dance mania is what they're calling it. And it's not anything like you're thinking, it's not. So, this outbreak, and yes, we're calling it an outbreak, and you'll find out why in just a minute. It began in July 1518 when a woman called Frau Trophia began to dance fervently and uncontrollably in a street in Strasbourg. According to Ned Pennant, Frau Trophia had started dancing on July 14th on the narrow, cobbled street right outside of her half-timbered home. As far as we can tell, she had no music accompaniment and simply just began to dance. Some of those who had witnessed her strange performance had begun to mimic her. And within days, more than 30 choreo maniacs, I guess that's what we're calling them, were in motion, some so monomanically that only death would have the power to intervene and relieve them. That's fucking terrifying. I mean, we like to dance for fun and whatnot, but could you imagine once you start dancing, you cannot stop. You can't? Nope, not till death. Anyway, so Trophia kept up the constant dancing for a week, and soon 36 others joined in. By August, the dancing plague, which is a great name for it, had claimed 400 victims. Fredward, you feel me? 400. That's a lot. It's a fuck of a lot. The dancers were beginning to collapse. It is said some even died from a stroke or a heart attack. The victims' movements were described as spasmodic, with many convulsions, and their bodies were left drenched in sweat. Of course, because they were constantly moving like this. And yeah, that's what it's like. I actually have a neurological condition called FND, functional neurological disorder, and it often makes my body move very strange like that. Back in those days, a lot of people thought it was like possession or something, but it was actually just a neurological disorder. So I do know a little bit about this. That's just one of the theories of this, though, and I'll tell you more in a minute. So, excuse me. Their arms would thrash violently, and some noted that their eyes were vacant and expressionless. You know who that reminds me of? Fredward. Only difference is he doesn't have any fucking eyeballs. So, but they're expressionless. Blood would pool into their swollen feet, and they would eventually bleed into their shoes. Often, there would also be cries for help from the affected. If the victims did not succumb to a heart attack, they would collapse from extreme exhaustion, hunger, and thirst. There was as many as 15 deaths per day during peak outbreak of this plague. The final number, though, of fatalities is actually unknown today. We're saying it was around 400 because we know at least that many succumbed to the dancing plague. So, no one knew what caused this reaction, which meant no one understood how to remedy it, right? Because, I mean, we have to know what the hell it is before we can start coming up for solutions for it. You know what I mean? And so by early September, the outbreak began to subside. So it started in July and ended in September. And in that time, it had claimed 400 victims. at least. So we're going to go through some of the theories. One of the theories is that it was food poisoning. Some believe the dancing could have been brought on by food poisoning caused by toxic and psychoactive chemical products of ergotism. I always want to say erogotism. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Which grows commonly on grains made for baking bread. So that's one theory. Another theory is a stress-induced mass hysteria. So this could have been an example of fully developed cases of psychogenic movement disorder, which is a lot like the neurological disorder I have called FND. It's just the modern name for it. Mine isn't continuous. Obviously, I'm not going to dance or move around until I die. But I do have flare-ups where my movement is very odd. I remind myself of Captain Jack Sparrow, which she's a very cool character, but when you're trying to be like sexy or on stage for music or modeling, because I do all those things, it doesn't work that well. It's not so good. So yeah, it's really hard. But anyways, this is another theory. It involves many individuals suddenly exhibiting the same bizarre behavior. That's why they call it the mass hysteria, because it's more than one. It's a mass of people. It's caused by ruthless years, and during that time, a lot of suffering. No food, stuff like that. Excuse me. Basically, it was kind of described as like a psychosis. You know, when we think of psychosis, we think of people who are mentally ill or addicted to drugs or things like that. They go into this psychosis and they're no longer really in control. The mind's not working correctly. Another obvious theory would be the neurological disorder known as, it's either pronounced chorea or chorea. It's CHOREA. That's how you spell it. And it's a neurological condition that gives people these movements, uncontrollable movements that look like dancing, jerking, spasming, but they're constantly like, you know, like they're dancing. There's no music playing, but they're dancing. So they're moving like this and stuff like that. And it's often linked to Huntington's disease, neurological disorders like that. It could have been that. But the only thing wrong with that theory is that isn't a real common thing to happen to a bunch of people in the same area. That's the odd part. That is the part that we're just like, what the fuck happened? And of course, a lot of people thought it was punishment for all of these people because they were sinners. Sinners. Yeah. Fredward, right? Bullshit. So, let me know in the comments what you think. Like, what do you think the theory, what do you think the best answer for this plague was? I don't know. I think a couple of different things. I definitely think that it could have been something in the food because everybody in this area contracted it. I also think that there was definitely some neurological things going on that, you know, in play, which could have been caused by food. It could have been caused by mice. It could have been caused by many, many, many things. So, I don't know, but it is fucking creepy. This is one of the stories that just blows my mind, how over 400 people succumbed to death by dance. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you liked the story. I'll try to do more. I am feeling a little bit better, so I'm hoping that I can get back on track with my Sunday scary story time stories, you know. And yeah, I have a new song coming out tonight at midnight, and I'm so excited. It'll be streaming on all platforms. Make sure you check out my other TikTok or my YouTube accounts, Amber Rae, R-A-E. And thanks for listening. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, bye.